such as an epiphany that you could kill your children in the bath this evening. Okay, you don't necessarily base that on any foundational evidence or any consideration in the past. That is a revelation. Now, clearly, other revelations are purposeful and good, but that is very distinct from realization.
What about the 6 billion?
Okay, so can you hold on? Can you explain what a realization is then? Since you already explained the first one.
Exactly.
He already explained both of them.
Tell us what the difference between a realization, an epiphany, and a revelation is.
A realization is
like you forgot to zip your pants up. That's a realization. Like if you're walking down the street and you don't have your pants zipped up and you feel some air blowing in your pee hole where your pants zip up, that would be a revelation, right? A realization. Realization. That's a realization. That's not an epiphany or a revelation. Right?
Okay. David, an example of a realization epiphany is like a while back when I was working on some really weird computer bugs, and I went away and ate lunch. And while I was in the middle of eating lunch, I realized, oh, it's this piece not talking to the other piece correctly. It was all stuff I already knew. I just had to sit there and let them fit together the right way.
A revelation is the introduction of new ideas.
Mindsets.
I'm gonna fucking.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I was talking about realization.
Yeah, I'm talking about revelation.
Well, 1 second, please. There's a difference between the epiphany to the individual and the shared epiphany. If someone reveals revelation, right, an epiphany, Paz, this is to you and Slacker as well, and Dave as well. How are you going to appreciate the epiphany of others or someone else? That's a great question.
Oh, it is a great question, Pete. It's a great one. Moving away from the actual definition.
We all know we're walking down the street. The realization that your pants is open and there's wind blowing through your dick. We all can appreciate that.
That's realization. That's not revelation.
That's more of a sensation than a realization.
Yeah. But it's based upon the evaluation of information.
You keep using this example.
Yeah, that's a sensation that gives you a realization, though, right?
Dallas, look. Can you see text chat, Dallas?
I'm driving right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I put up a definition from Google. Of epiphany, a moment of sudden and great revelation or realization. There are two types of epiphany.
Yeah, realization and revelation. Revelation is like when I figured out that there's no colors without water molecules, right? What? That'd be a revelation where you don't even know why you're thinking of it, but you figure out that there are no colors, that humans can't see color without water molecules, right?
That you're right. Yeah, that's absolutely correct, David.
That can't be that's an epiphany, Dave.
Pete.
Sorry, Paz.
David is correct. That would be a revelation because that thought is
Paz, I have a revelation that you're a government misinformation agent and a piece of shit. How about that?
Okay. So Dave, you're right. What you had was a revelation. It was a surprising or previously unexpected piece of information that came into your head. That was a revelation.
Right.
Okay.
But revelations don't cause you to take action. Like he was talking about the lady that killed her 2 kids. That's not a revelation because a revelation doesn't make you do something.
It does. Quite often. A revelation.
No. You can't. You can't say that a revelation makes you. There's no proof that a revelation makes you do anything.
Well, my revelation made me go fix the code.
That would be a psychotic break. That would not be a revelation. That would be a psychotic break.
No, you can have a revelation that can then lead to an action. So a simple example is, you get a revelation that there's a plot to assassinate somebody. Yeah, that's that you've discovered an unknown fact. Now you can act. Now you can act on that fact.
No, that's a hypothesis.
No, that's a revelation. Now we have a hypothesis.
A revelation is when you figure when you are given information in your brain stem that has never been there before, right? Where you think of something that you've never thought of before, right?
But what's the difference between a revelation and
not
an
necessarily.
epiphany?
A revelation can be something that can be gathered in community or on your own.
Now, 1 second, Draz. I'm going to say that Dave has he declared there that you can't have colors without some sort of distortion within the light coming through water. That's a realization. I'm going to ask you, Dave. What's the difference between a revelation?
It's not a realization because there's no evidence to support
an epiphany. That's it.
A revelation is when you discover something that no one else has ever taught you.
No,
Yeah,
revelation
so
always
here-
from higher
Like
source.
if you have a revelation is when you figure out something
Dallas.
that has never been invented. That's a revelation.
So here's
That's
the problem
coming from a
with
higher
Dallas
source,
is,
though.
Pete, 1 second, I'm just trying to get a couple of points in edgeways here. The problem I've got with Dallas's claim that it has to go through water molecules is I've been in parts of the world where there's been zero humidity in the atmosphere because of the temperature, and guess
There's
what?
no
I can still see fucking colors.
Well, I
There's
think
no
what he's
such
trying to
thing
say
as-
is
there's no such thing as zero precipitation. Okay.
You cannot forget if you're talking about colorization because of bias, and the colorization is because of bias. And if you have some bias there between in the equation, you will have a coloration. That you have to
well,
understand.
hold on. If water molecules is what allows light to function or to be perceived, then one must deduce that the less water there is, the less water molecules, the less light, the less color.
No,
So
it's
why is it? Why is it that
it's more magnification? Because when there's less water molecules, there's more magnification because the water molecules are smaller, which cause magnification more. The smaller the molecule,
are the same size.
the stronger the magnification.
Water molecules
That's why in Death Valley it's the hottest place on earth because it's 200 feet below.
Why in the blue fuck are we entertaining this conversation where Dave thinks that light is magnified by a single molecule of water again?
David, I'd like you to. We've heard all your alternative science, all your revelations rather than realizations. David,
Johnny agrees with me.
Can you come to a conclusion, David, so we can move the conversation on away from moon illusions, science illusions, magnifying water? We're bored of it, David.
How does Windex taste?
Well, the question I've got is are we talking about a natural? Are we talking about a natural epiphany? Are we talking about an epiphany or a supernatural epiphany?
Yeah.
Well, Johnny, for some reason, Johnny understands what I'm saying, and I understand what Johnny's saying. So how can two people be on the same wavelength, but then you're in a room full of people that don't have the ability to see the wavelength of the light?
I guess it's the same reason. I guess it's the same reason as when I went to the loony bin to visit my aunt. There were two schizophrenics.
No. Hang on, please. Mind that.
Is your
Mind
mom
that
is in the
nonsense.
loony bin?
My explanation is one word. It's a rainbow.
Same reason why like two
Rainbow.
schizophrenics can have
stop
like
doing
a
this.
conversation with
Stop
each other,
fucking
and
disrespecting
they seem to
people.
understand what they're saying to each other, but then like nobody else understands
Shut
what
the
they're
fuck
saying.
up, you faker. You came in there. You had no reason to.
Johnny, did you know that me and you are having illusions, Johnny?
No, if he's going to tell me what the revelation,
where you pretend like you and Johnny are on the same wavelength at all. Johnny is Johnny was oh Jesus Christ, all of you.
No,
Johnny is just doing this thing where he absolutely pretends like he understands what you're saying, Dave, and he's agreeing with you because you don't agree with the rest of us, and you're playing a game as though you actually understand what in the fuck he's saying, so that it backs up the nonsense that you're saying. What you don't seem to understand is that if you are betting on Johnny to be the horse to carry you to the finish line, you're on an ass in a different stadium.
You're on an ass to nowhere.
Johnny,
and there's just easier to let it happen, Paaca.
Johnny, do you hear these? Do you hear these illusions that they're having?
I don't have to answer it because it's so everybody should understand how.
So what do you want, David? David, what do you want from us, David? I've never figured this out. What do you want?
He wants egos.
Well, we need first off we need to start changing. Like if you Google moon illusions, we need to give a real definition of what we're seeing instead of telling people that their brain is conceiving something they're not really seeing. and that it hadn't been figured out. How about that?
Yeah, but Dave,
I was talking. You were talking about the molecules and the water.
Forum, Dave.
Hey,
Moon
I'm answering
illusion.
Dave now. I'm answering Dave.
Yeah,
Dave is
John.
talking about the molecules.
Isn't
He's talking
amazing,
about
Paz,
the
how
water
neither of them will
vapors.
give way on the
And
microphone
I'm talking about the
and
colorization and the
No idea,
bias
isn't it?
around those. Yeah, I just have to say the rainbow. That's the coloration of the magnification of the drops in the water and in the same time colorization. Yes, it might be a metaphor,
circular,
but it's
John?
much more than metaphor.
Why is
It's
the rainbow
more than that.
circular, John,
It's
like
a
the
reality
crater?
also in the same time.
Yeah, but John, you have to go deeper. Why is
Why not? Let's go
a rainbow
deeper.
circular? Why is a rainbow like a crater? Why is a crater like the moon shape? Why is the moon full of craters? And why is the sun like crater shape as well? Can you answer me?
Yeah, it's a game with the shadows.
I agree, John. It's one singular source emanating. I agree.
from darkness
I
to
think
the
what we're
light.
seeing here at
So
the
it's
end of
just
the
a
day
game.
that Pete Shea is actually the true chef here because he can make a word salad better than anybody I know.
Hey, Pete, what
That's
you gotta
true.
do is
I
you gotta build a basic idea of your reality. That's how you start to answer questions. When you have a basic.
Okay, so David, what I suggest you do is if you go online and you look at Wikipedia, they'll give you instructions to setting up your own wiki, and you can set up your own definitions. You can put them on there, and then you can come back and you can show them to us.
Come on,
How's that,
Paz.
David?
Don't be do that.
Would that
Don't
be
be
fun?
muted for that.
What about that, David? How about you write down all your definitions rather than endlessly blurt them
What's
out
that?
here?
Because me
What's
and
that?
Johnny, me and Johnny understand the spoken word. All we have to do is speak it into existence.
Okay,
Are
great.
you,
Johnny,
are you orcs?
one second,
Because we understand
Paz.
the
Let me answer
wavelength.
Dave here.
Johnny understands
Let
that
me answer Dave.
we're speaking this into existence right now with every conversation me and Johnny have. We're
Right,
speaking these things into
you
existence.
and you left me out all of a sudden, Dave. You left me out because I'm going to ask you a question about your realization that you can only see colors via the interaction of the light and the water particle. That's a realization. If you had an
Revelation.
epiphany, you'd be able to tell me what the sun was or what light was, Dave, and where the water came from.
Light is energy. Okay, light. We do know that light is energy. Okay, so what else do you want to know?
What
is energy then?
Where is the energy coming from? I have not seen the plug that plugs in the back of the sun, so I don't know the answer.
Yeah,
Right, so now you're looking for either revelation or epiphany. Nice one. Keep working on it. Ask the God for it, Dave. You might get it. Because you just come to a sense of realization that all of the colors in the rainbow are an interaction of the light from the sun, particularly, and also the water in the
important
atmosphere.
question here, Pete,
Thank you.
is does the sun have a 3-pin British plug or one of those crappy 2-pin American plugs?
No, dude. No, dude.
Thinking about it, it's the solar system, so the sun is earthed.
Our 120 volt plugs are better, dude. Or what? I'm sorry. Our 120 watt plugs are better.
Dr. Peck, can you explain what John? Dr. Peck.
Not watts,
Dr.
volts.
Peck,
I'm sorry.
what Johnny got done saying.
That's my bad. My bad. I misspoke.
Dr. Peck, you were saying something about Johnny and me. Johnny explained it to you perfectly well right there in that little short sentence he was talking about the colorization and all of that. Can you repeat back what Johnny told you and tell us why it's wrong?
Go ahead, Packer.
Hello?
Is he here? Have you checked he's here, David?
Oh, so he's not able to do that. But okay, if you cannot do that, then I will have to put in that don't forget oh yeah, listen. I have the most power that you forget to talk about. That's the life. The life is also a power. It's just like I have a breakfast with Tiffany or Epiphany, what you're talking about. Doesn't matter. That's part of the life. That's the magnification of the life. Don't forget that. And that is also making some kind of coloration that I was trying to talk about. Okay, so that's also one
Johnny, how many times are you going to try and shoehorn your nonsense about colorization in the next hour? Just so I can write it down, make sure you're still alive.
I'm just saying alive is a powerful say. So I'm just pointing out it's not only one thing. It's not only black and white everything. The coloration is also something that we call life.
Coloration, Johnny.
I'm going to give you an
coloration.
example of an epiphany. I'm going to give you, and Dave and Johnny especially should bear witness to this.
Of
Johnny,
course.
we're told in the Bible that after the great flood, God made an alliance with man that the flood would never happen, and his version of the covenant it was the rainbow. Now, the rainbow is not a bow; it's a circle. If we have a tree that's cut and something is emanating upwards, then we're going to get a circular representation under this correct sort of viewing circumstances, and that's an epiphany. That's an epiphany, putting pieces together, and suddenly your mind sort of takes all information into play, especially in terms of conspiratorial flat earth and beyond, and puts that piece together. Go ahead.
Hey,
My
Pete, I have a
darling Pete,
question
I
for
will
you.
give you an explanation, and everybody can talk after me after that. But I will give you absolutely clarification and the explanation, and I'll tell you what it's about. Yes, if you're above and you are above, very very high off, you will see the whole rainbow. Yes, it is a circle. But if you're underneath and you are on the surface like a small man with your feet, yes, you will just see as a half hemisphere. It's like a you will not see it as a circle because your view is just like that. The rainbow is given you. That is the coloration of your view.
So, Johnny,
You don't.
since you can change your viewer point and that gives you a better view of something, is it possible that the Earth could look flat to you from the ground, and then you raise up in altitude and it not look flat?
That's an
Don't answer him,
impossible
Johnny.
because
He's trying to get you on a technicality.
The fact is, every water molecule is a
God.
prism of light. So when you're looking at your eyeballs, the water molecules in your eyeball
Always the same people
are prisms
talking.
that the light
They're
goes
making
through.
stuff up.
No, this is absolutely true. Johnny will agree with me. Watch this.
David, go take a walk. Go to the store, man.
Johnny, do you agree
God,
with
how long have you been here today?
Hey, Johnny, do you agree with
14 hours.
I will just say
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
My internet.
Fuck it, I muted all three of them. You guys better come up with a
American, since you're here, I'll ask you a question. So earlier today, I jumped on for like 5 minutes and I heard you talking about how you don't like that all these corporations are making all this money and they're making too much profit. And then about 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago, I see you bragging about how much money you're making at your job. So I'm just curious, what's up with the hypocrisy?
Who are you talking to?
What, you didn't read what I put? The past three people
Savage
to give him an estimate, I was $11,000 cheaper than them. I have equipment
So what? You
and
still
all
made
that,
a
but
lot
I
of
own
money, didn't
equipment.
you?
Shut the fuck up and listen, bitch.
He's not exploiting his workers.
You guys are, well, yeah, we all do,
Girls,
etc.
every one of them be happy, and I would have been collecting $16,000, $18,000.